Hello, we're going to show how to do the weekly challenge number 2 this time. So let's have a look at the data set. We have a very simple input data set. What we have is 2 rows of data. Each of the data, let's see if I can zoom in a bit. So we have all the text is encapsulated within the double quote, separated by comma. Oh no, yeah, we have different data types. So we have numbers, we have strings. Some may be encaptured by double quote, some is single quote. It's about passing the data out for this one. If we look at the output, what they intend to do, this is a very standard process for data. We want to get a string field out ID, so it's probably integers and with a date. If we look at the metadata, yes, we probably want to keep its different data type for each column. This is a question I did in the past. Let me actually just copy paste my old workflow when I first started learning Alteryx. So we can actually see the difference, or rather say transitions. Nowadays, if I need to do this thing, anything about string, I try to use regex. But when I first started, never actually learned the regex first. Text to colon is always the go-to tool to find the field. So if we look at the field, the input field, because we know we have a separation by either double quote, comma. So you can see I try to use multiple times to get the information out. So the first two, double quote. So I think I'm trying to get the single string. So you get a blank space, that's before the double quote, and you have the rest string after. So column 2 will be the text column. Same idea for the date field, because the date is encaptured by the single quote. If we do the same thing, use a single quote and split it column, we can see we catch those information. So from column 3, we try to split further. The last one, we try to get the numbers. Because we have a comma in front, comma behind. Other two nowadays I would think is, hey, I probably can use separate on the comma first, then use a trim on the text field to handle. We demonstrate the steps. Select to help us to select the column we want, rename it. We do need to change the poem date. So far, they're both in a consistent format. A datetime tool is very good to use. The last, I think, yeah, just drop in the colors. So let's give it a try. See how different ways I would probably do this challenge. Now I would look at things. I would say comma is probably a better choice to separate. So we're gonna get 3 individual fields. So comma is fine. We're gonna 3-piece information net. So colon default should be okay. And we can see we already have our information out. Each of those, because it's a text, you pass the text, you should by default get out the text. So you can see it's a V string. We can use select change later. The next, to handle the single or double quotes, a quick way to do it will be using trim function. So for first column, we can trim it. We trim column 1. The thing we want to get rid of is double quote. Now be careful the order of things, because we try to set a string for the double quote. You need a single quote outside to wrap it. Column 2, ID should be fine. Column 3, we want to trim on the single quote. So column 3, as we try to do string single quote, we use double quote to wrap it, a single quote in between. So let's zoom in a bit. Hopefully you can see a slight subtle difference. Depends on the tool you're using. Usually the quotation sometimes is reserved for different purpose. In Alteryx, they don't really matter. Both is reserved to handle string type. If we run workflow, then we see our data is quite clean. Further onwards, what we need to do is change the date format and rename the column correspondingly. For that, let's not worry about it. We can probably use copy paste to the field. On date, I think that probably should pass through. Is the select? Oh yeah, select as a different columns. So we're looking for 1, 2, 3. Let's remove all the things. We're looking for 1, 2, 3. Number one is the poem. Probably just type it POEM. That's the POEM poem ID. Then the last one should be the date. POEM. One thing again. It's not selected, so we select power date. So we looking for the poem date, read the date, and yeah. So now you can see with a bit more training, I can pass things a bit better. So rather than with three separate text column, I can probably handle this thing much quicker with a single text column. Lastly, we can also do the thing with regex. Either you can use a formula tool to regex pass. I'm a big fan of it, or you can just go for the regex tool itself. String down with respect to that. Show regex on one is probably the best way. What's the text field we're looking for? Copy. Oops. Did I copy the method though? Yes. Select column with a header. Yes. Regex 101. So let's see how we do. The quotations in regex is not special, so we can keep as text. So we start with double quote. We're looking for every single thing. You can have used the text word combination or dot star should be fine. We'll try to capture everything up to the single quote. For comma to separate things, we have a bunch of digits. So we can say we have a digits, digits plus, with another comma, two single quotes with dot star. If we want to be a bit more robust, you can use a dollar sign to say it's end of string, and you can have a hat to say it's the start of string. So for us, this specific case, we don't have it as a text when not to worry about, so we don't need those things. Now, because we try to pass the information out, so run the bracket, that's a capture group, so capture the digits, capture the dates. With a highlight field, we can see it's pretty good. Pretty much, Alteryx is should be okay, valid to most of the case. Let's get rid of the screen, go back to the regex tool. What we try to do, we try to pass out. Another benefit for regex, because you can use the selection for the data type to decide what you want. For example, the second is the ID. We can probably just rename it poem ID. The first one is the text, that's poems. The third one is the date field. This one hasn't changed it. Let's give it a try. I think it will fail. No, I cannot do the date. So if we keep string as it is, let's call it date. Run workflow. We see that we are getting the required format to with just a single regex tool. It's quite efficient. To change the date, select column, we can just duplicate the previous steps. Date, then people can, so the date, we're looking for the date in. So the date field, copy and replace the rest, select the field. We don't need to worry about anything else. We're doing a date. So the date is done. Yeah, we're doing the field one. And that is how I will do the question, Ultra challenge number 2. The reason I want to show different things is to actually show people how, in a way, the progression of learning. When I first started, I probably used a lot more text to column. Regex is more robust. Yes, if you're quite familiar with it, I would really recommend it to use it because once you know how to do some basic regex, a lot of things become easier. Text column, I would say that's probably my next advance. Once you look at the data, you understand what's the best way, how the data is constructed. In this case, column is a better way to separate things. So rather than use the quotations, it's more looking at the data set as one parts, different parts. You understand the data structure better. Last regex, yes. So that's kind of my current go-to steps. Hopefully, this show you can always just start doing questions. Use web solution you can do to solve it. But as you gain more experience, you'll constantly find probably better ways in the future. Thanks for watching.